JG, the first tournament back after coronavirus lockdown. WTA Palermo is finished.
Yeah, we're both wrong.
Yeah.
The GTL curse has come again. We got it wrong.
No, I destroyed Vekic's chances after touting her, I feel.
It's always the way, isn't it? Even before all the COVID stuff, we was always trying to pick our winners, and they always ended up going out early doors, never really falling through. But getting on to what you was about to say, Fiona Ferro, the champion.
Smashed it.
And I feel like we probably should have seen it coming. We've seen her form.
We sort of showed it last time on the last podcast, and that run of 12 straight wins, she hasn't lost since she's come back after this break. So
I think it's 15 now with a win in the final.
It's ridiculous. When you're saying that she has like her own tennis court at home or something, and she's just not stopped playing.
Yeah, I saw her online. I saw on Twitter that she's got a court in her house, and she's just been playing like relentlessly through lockdown. I'm sure it helps, to be fair, because since lockdown, she's come back. She's been playing in a few exhibition tournaments and different games, and she's won everything. Like, she only dropped, in the last 15 games, she's dropped 3 sets.
There's no substitute for practice, and she's just proved it. All these players, Kontaveit, fair play to her. She hasn't played anything, and she came in, and she's actually close to the top of her game, but it just goes to show that extra bit of practice and match play. Like, she's just been on court longer, and Kontaveit, I'm sure if she plays her in another month or two, it'll be reversed, the result. But just right now, Fiona Ferro, the lady to beat on tour.
Yeah, and in such impressive fashion as well, in 2 sets again.
Yeah, well, she was a breakdown.
Let's give Kontaveit some praise. She's played some incredible tennis this week. Some really good matches, and she's very powerful, isn't she?
It's just
so cleanly and well. But something you said to me, I know you was watching it. I didn't catch all of the final, and you messaged me saying how well they're hitting the ball. Like, the standard is actually really high for not playing tennis for so long. It's brilliant that they're able to get back and be playing tennis at such a high level. And I think it bodes well for the upcoming slams. That if people are able to pick it up that quick, at the end of the day, these are athletes, these are professional players, and a bit of time away, it's not really affected them too much, and they're back firing at the top of their game. It's good to see. Yeah,
well, it definitely was clean hitting at its best, I think, and Ferro's proved it the whole week in this tournament in Italy. She's been hitting the lines, and that was just the thing in this final. Even when Kontaveit was a break up in this second set, Ferro doesn't seem like she was deterred at all. She doesn't seem that she didn't get downbeat. She just kept playing that game, and she's just too strong. Kontaveit had moments of brilliance, constantly throughout, but the consistency of Ferro's shots.
She's more consistent.
Yeah,
and not just that, she's more measured, I feel. With her shots, it's not all power. Have you noticed a lot of the time, I know you're saying she was hitting the lines, but she's very measured and calculated with her shots. A bit similar to Kenin on hard. I see a lot of similarities in the way they play in the terms of they it's not defensive, it's just it's very they'll up the tempo, up the ante, then bring it down a bit, just manipulating the angles on the court and just using all the court, and it's just it is really effective. We've seen it happen, especially more so on the women's tour than the men's tour, and she's definitely a big advocate for that. And for her, she's probably hoping the French Open happens next week, but
it's not going to,
because she's in the best. No, it's not going to. But for her, that would be the most ideal thing right now, because she'd be the one to beat, I feel, on play, in the form she's been playing at, 15 on the bounce.
I just, just wonder if she can translate that over to the Grand Slams. And you'd hope that she could, because based upon that form, I struggle seeing many people getting a set off her, which is crazy to say. Watching her this week, did anybody even take? Did anybody? Yeah, Georgie took one set off of her in the semi-final, but Georgie, the hometown girl, obviously playing in front of the Italian faithful, I expected her to come out firing, but one set in the bag, Ferro just took over after the first set, and it was just like Camila Georgie was just one and done, and that was it. It was all over.
Talking about the Italians, the fans, there wasn't many there, but the Italians are so loud, aren't they?
Yeah.
There can only be a few. There can only be like maybe 6 or 7 of them there, but you hear them.
It's
that
boring,
one nation. I feel like the Italians, they can make themselves heard.
You looked at you heard after each point there was a lot of cheering, but then it would always flick back to the stands, and there was like a couple of people in a mask, and that was it.
Yeah, it was like deceiving. It sounded a lot louder, and then you look in the crowd, and there's like one geezer there just sitting there.
I think it was just their coaches cheering on the sidelines. I think it was just at the back of the court. I don't think there was people in the stands. There was a couple, but I was surprised there wasn't more people going out. Obviously, they've hit really hard in Italy, so probably it's been taken very seriously there. And we're not seeing any of this Adria Tour nonsense where people are just packing the stands. But yeah,
no, it's brilliant, mate. First WTA title for 5 months post-COVID.
Yeah,
and Fiona Ferro wins it. But what did you make about the whole trophy thing? You see her; she had gloves. She was on court with gloves and a mask on.
Yeah, it's just
a bit. It doesn't look.
Could have been anyone. Could have been anyone receiving the trophy.
No, it's not that. What I'm talking about, like you've just played a game of is that really necessary?
Well, I don't know.
It's just like a PR thing. It's got to be, right?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, if there's that few people,
is it genuinely for the safety? Because at the end of the day, like, it's only a trophy, mate.
The
person who brings it in. If as long as it's cleaned down, wipe it down. The person who brings it in brings it in with gloves on, presents it to her. Then does she really have to wear gloves and mask? It seems like a bit of a PR stunt. I don't think it's really necessary, is it? They've just played a game of tennis and they're touching the same balls.
Do you not think? Give her the trophy and it's in a bag, and then she can unwrap it like a present.
Like a present.
There you go, and then no one's touched it then.
No, I don't know. It's a bit weird to me, but
I don't know. I don't.
Let us know what you think about that. But for me, I thought that was a bit strange.
I don't think she's going to be caring too much, really, even about the trophy. I think it's more about getting back. Of course, it's her second WTA title ever, so that's probably a huge achievement for her. And she's probably taken out of everybody, she's the person who's most taken advantage of this small break. And if everybody else had done the same as her, then somebody else might have been able to have stolen that first one back, because some people go their whole career and don't win a WTA or go their whole career, don't win an ATP event. So, and she's managed to snag a second one and put another one to her name. So, and now she's looking very strong heading into what could be a very hotly contested French Open. So that's going to be...
I don't know if there's going to be Barty there. Do you reckon Barty will play?
You never know.
She's called out US Open, so it could be a chance that she's sort of saving herself.
This is because it's the US, though, and the US is much worse hit and handled everything much worse than mainland Europe, where in Europe, I think they had the worst of it, and then everybody sort of tried to lock it down a bit better. But I don't know what the situation... Obviously, we're still so far away. It's like 8 weeks or something, so... Could be potentially, would it still go ahead? You never know in this day and age. I wouldn't even be surprised to hear some crazy announcement. This year is so bizarre. I wouldn't even be surprised if everything got cancelled from now and then we don't see any more tennis again for the rest of it. You just don't know.
Yeah, but let's just hope it does go ahead. And if it does, you've got the likes of like Vondrasova going to be playing. You've got, who was I going to say?
Martic.
Yeah, no, there was someone I had in mind who's a bit of a threat.
Alep.
Well, obviously, yeah. There's loads like that, but there's one particularly, Muguruza.
Oh yeah, Muguruza. Don't forget about her.
Yeah. There's a lot of top guns who haven't played in obviously this WTA tournament who's going to be there, and it'll be interesting to see how Ferro sort of fares with them. To be honest.
Yeah, for sure. And then don't forget, we've always got Serena Williams.
We might as well get straight onto that now. So the other WTA tournament, which starts. Not like tomorrow, I believe, right? That's on tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow, yeah.
And that's Lexington.
Yep, you've got one in Lexington, I believe, and one in Prague as well.
Yeah, they both started at the same time, right?
Yeah,
so you've got the one in Prague the qualifiers. I think that's been going on the last few days.
Yep.
And they're both exciting tournaments. So if we look at the Lexington one first, I feel like that's the one what's got the more tasty sort of round one draws.
Definitely
You've got the Williams sisters.
Oh, they're both
Cori,
in there.
Gauff. You got... Go through them.
Yeah, I mean, Ons Jabeur's in there.
Yeah,
You've got Anissimova's in there. You've got Joanna Konta after, Heather Watson representing the GB. They're both in there. Yeah, Azarenka's playing Venus Williams. That's very interesting match.
And the winner of that will be playing the winner of the Serena Williams versus... Who's Serena playing?
It's Pera.
Yeah, another brilliant. She's 50th in the world. Bernardo Pera.
Number 60, Bernardo Pera. Yeah.
And she's a good player, so it's really exciting. I feel like that's a big tournament, and it'll be interesting to see who wins that. For me personally, I think my tip to win that one is Cori Gauff. I don't want to... I feel bad saying it.
Don't say it.
Because whenever we say it, we're just jinxing it, and it was a shame for her because I don't want to ruin her luck. But I think this is hers. I just have a really strong feeling. I think Cori Gauff can go all the way and win this one.
What makes you say it?
I don't know. I just feel like obviously there's been the big break, but I just feel like she is someone who she'll be able to adapt to. Like I think you said it on the last podcast. Like when you're younger, you're more able to sort of deal with when you have a break and play. You're able to sort of just bounce back easier.
Yeah.
What was the wording you used last time?
Well, I just think that they're just. I just thought that their bodies are just. They have better recoverability and they can hit the court like running, so to speak. Your body in that age, you're just like much more like flexible physiques, and you're not like they're probably not recovering from the same injuries. There's probably a lot of the older players on tour have probably got aches and pains, tennis elbows, dodgy knees, or she's probably running on there with just like, even if it is a pain, it's probably gone in a week or gone in a couple of days. You just don't like these young players. They can just do anything.
And it's not just that; it's the fact that it's Cori Gauff as well. At the end of the day, we've already seen what she's capable of. She's already won a WTA tournament. She's already gone far in 2 Grand Slams, and she has all the ability to go far in this one. And we've spoke about on another podcast how she could be maybe a future Grand Slam winner one day. And at the end of the day, if she's in that breath, why can't she win this WTA Lexington? So for me, she's my pick.
Well, what I'd love to see as well, because I know that she's at the opposite end of the draw to Serena Williams. And wouldn't it just be the icing on the cake just before these Grand Slams take place if we get a Serena Williams Cori Gauff final?
Yeah, that would be cool.
That would be pretty incredible. But yeah, looking up and down the draw, there's quite a few interesting picks. It's hard to know who to pick like from all of them, just based upon because I haven't seen people play that much.
And bearing in mind, the draw you're looking at now doesn't include all the qualifiers. There's qualifiers.
No, exactly.
And there's some good players in there as well.
There is.
I wouldn't write them off either.
No, definitely not. I mean, some of the players who have still got to come through the qualification, if we just have a look on there quickly, we've got Kalinskaya. It's hard. You always hate me because I'm always shy and close to the favourites in these tournaments. I mean, I'd look at Serena Williams, obviously amazing player. I look at Anisimova. Last time Anisimova played Serena Williams, she'd be a 6-1, 6-1. Serena won. So I don't really look too heavy on that. Konta's been playing terribly recently. Ons Jabeur, I really like Ons Jabeur. If she's been playing well recently, I don't know. But
no, pick her, man. I'll tell you what, I want you to pick her because she was my second pick. So if you take her, I don't feel so bad.
Ever since she ran Halep super close, I've got this level of respect for Ons Jabeur. So I'm going to, let's throw Ons Jabeur in the mix.
Sheer power, man.
Yeah, I like Ons Jabeur.
Nice. We'll see how they get on. Hopefully they can get through the first round.
Report back.
Knocked out straight away.
Yeah, that's them both gone then out of the tournament within the first round.
So moving off of the WTA.
Yes.
Let's talk about some of the big news in the US Open what's come out.
Okay.
And that's Andy Murray. He's now being entered into the main draw of the US Open. So
he should be.
Alexei Popyrin pulled out.
Yeah.
And then
he did. I saw that.
Yeah. So then that means that Murray gets in as the main draw, and then I think the new wild card is Mitchell Kruger. If I remember right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's good news. What do you make of Murray's chances at the US Open?
Yeah, it's one of these ones. It's just I'm just happy to see him there. To be honest, he's one of those players who I think he should always be there. I mean, I know he's lower in the rankings. He
can't just always be there because of who he is.
Yeah, but he's an ex.
Do you not want to see the high quality tennis?
Well, you're saying he doesn't bring high quality tennis?
Well, I don't know. Would you say that there's other people who could bring better quality tennis right now than him?
Not at the level of
some of these younger players we've spoke about. You think Carlos Alcaraz Garcia could not bring out better tennis than, say, Andy Murray right now?
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, I love Murray. Murray's a legend of the sport. We've seen what he did at the back of the Brits. He's not quite there, is he, with the tennis at the moment?
Yeah, but I'm not. Yeah, but give him a little bit of time. And plus, last year he came back from his injury and he won ATP Antwerp, and that was with crippling bloody knee injuries and whatnot. All these problems that he's had, and he's dug in deep and managed to beat Humbert, Wawrinka, and they were playing at the highest level of that, and somehow he did that, and that's just the heart that guy showed. And so much he was like in tears after winning that. Like he couldn't believe he'd actually managed to get back to that level, and I just want to see that again from him. That's all.
No, I'll be honest with you. I'm playing a bit of devil's advocate here. Like, I'm only doing it for the podcast. I'm happy he's there, and I think it's brilliant to see, and I hope he does really well. But the only bit of truth from what I did say is I'm not sure if he will be able to compete with some of the other guys. Like,
no. What about if you saw a Brandon Nakashima versus Andy Murray? That would be really interesting. I would love to see a match like that, because that's the new breed against the old breed. And
well, I'm glad you said that, actually, because we said we was going to talk about. Do you remember we was going to say about how there's two wild cards entering?
Yes.
Brandon Nakashima and JJ Wolf. And we were both having a bit of a discussion. This was not even on a podcast. Off air, just talking about who we think who's the better player right now and who can go further. And you was more leaning on the side of Nakashima.
Always.
Probably a bit more experienced in terms of like he's played quite well at different challenges and tournaments before. Whereas JJ Wolf, he's obviously in challenges, he's been killing it, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Like moving up to the ATP level, he just sort of he bottled it, didn't he? Getting into the Australian Open, he got through 2 qualifying rounds and then lost the last one. Which he should have comfortably won as well. But for me, JJ Wolf is the real deal. I'm not saying Nakashima isn't, but I just think his game is just phenomenal, and he's someone who I find extremely exciting to watch. So if you don't know the name already, JJ Wolf is here to stay for sure. Yeah. And I think that would be an equally exciting game with Andy Murray. Someone like that, to see how they fare. The new versus the old. Granted, it's not really fair, really, because Murray's had all these injuries and complications. I feel like an uninjured Murray is able to use his experience and his class. At the end of the day, one of the best returners of the game's ever seen.
Yeah.
To be able to dispatch of these players, but it's not the same Murray of what we know. So that's why I feel like it's going to be a lot closer affair and something certainly interesting to watch and see who comes out on top.
Just worry about the fitness levels. Obviously, we saw in the Battle of the Brits he wasn't quite up to the same sort of standards the high regard that we hold him in, and you can't really expect him to be. I mean, he's playing against Evans and Edmund, who are both top 50. I think, I believe Edmund
more or less so.
They pretty much are, and to be playing that when you're just coming back pretty much from injury and not playing for a long time, and he's down in like 130 in the world, but you still saw signs in the first sets that he's still there. It's like before the gas tank wore down a bit and he was starting to ache a little bit. The signs were there that were promising, and you know that he can still do it. And if he could replicate those first sets a couple of times, you can see him beating those type of players again, and that's top 50 players, and you can see him that was the first tournament back, and I think he kept on in that vein without an avoided injury. Yeah, he could do all right, I think. But it's just, you're up against young lions these days. There's a lot of promising young, especially in US as well. There's a lot of promising talent coming through. The talent pool is deep in the US these days, and Nakashima, he's top of my list, and I can't wait to see who he's up against, and I hope he gets put against somebody top 20 or something. I want to see him blast.
No, not straight away. Come on.
I want to see it happen.
I want him to have like a first game where he sort of warms himself up a bit. And it's a very even... It probably would be underdog anyway, regardless of who he comes up against.
Obviously, yeah.
But then if he's able to come through that, then maybe place one of the bigger dogs.
The interesting thing to see is how will he deal with 5 sets is the thing, because obviously all these players are so used to playing.
He might not go to 5 sets. He might get it done in 3.
Well, exactly. But that's what I just think. I think he has the ability, though. If you put him up against some other of those players in the top 20, if he catches someone like Benoit Paire on an off day, and he often has these frustrating days, play someone like Brandon Nakashima, he's electric on his best days, and you just can't. He's like unplayable. If he comes up against someone like him, people who get easily frustrated and smash rackets and that type of thing, he's going to be like loving it against people like that, because he's going to be able to stay cool and calm. I think he's 18 years old. He's just like a breath of fresh air on the tour. That's my opinion anyway. I think
if he draws Murray first round, is he beating Murray?
I think he has a very good chance.
Sir Andy Murray?
I think he has a very good chance of beating Murray. Yeah, maybe in 4 sets.
In 4? Why 4?
I don't know. I think Murray might get tired after like maybe 2 sets or something, maybe 3. You just don't know what the fitness level is going to be like for him.
Yeah.
So I think Murray would probably do better with playing somebody a little bit shorter, someone he can push around the court a bit more, someone he can manipulate a bit better. Nakashima's probably a bit more his size, like 6'2", I think he is.
Yeah.
I think he needs a bit of a smaller competitor to play in the first couple of rounds, and then he can just ease his way in.
Yeah, well, a name you mentioned, literally in Andy Murray's brilliant win in Antwerp last year, was Stan Wawrinka, who we beat in the final. So we've got the big news come out this week that Stan Wawrinka's dropping down to the challengers. And he's playing in 2 challenges from, I think, the 17th to the 24th of August, and one straight after that in Prague.
Scared of Murray.
Which is...
That's why he's dropped out.
I think he's got his clay court, isn't it? So he's got his heart set on the French Open. And it's only the first time he's done... Well, I think he's only done it 3 times since 2005 where he's dropped down to a challenger. So it's very unfamiliar territory for him. I think when he played before, it was in Lugano, and he won both of them, and in one of them he got to the quarterfinal. So you'd fancy him to do well in this one. He's obviously going to probably be the outright favourite for the tournament.
Hope so. Who else is going to be in this
anyone else is unless Rafa Nadal's dropping down to it as well.
No, I doubt that much.
You would think... Yeah, I'm actually really excited to see it because I love watching Stan, and it's going to be interesting to see him in a challenger tour.
Wouldn't it be
beloved challengers?
Well, what happens if you get to see him Stan Wawrinka versus an Alcaraz Garcia in a challenger or something like that? That would be very interesting. Any of these other young guns that we've been following on these clay courts.
Well, they're probably going to be there, most likely. Do you not think? I'm not sure what it's going to be like, because a lot of the American guys, this is what I wanted to talk about actually, you teed me up nicely for that, is a lot of the American guys, they're unable to come over to play in the challenger tournaments because they need to quarantine. So you're not allowed to play in the challengers if you've not quarantined in Europe for 14 days. So whether they're going to be able to do that and like fit it around other tournaments and stuff, and especially, if you're playing the US Open, that basically rules you out. So yes, it's going to be, I'm not sure how that's going to work. And a lot of these other guys, they're living in America. So are they going to come out before and then have to be in their bubble and quarantine? It's not cheap, is it? To then rent a hotel for these days extra? I'm sure probably getting a flight as well. Not just that, obviously the health repercussions as well. At the end of the day, you're going to an airport. Hopefully it's not too busy, but it's still not exactly safe, is it? So it's going to be interesting to see what players do come over. But it would be great to see like the likes of maybe a Seyboth Wild or them type of players, or what's his name, Varillas and Correa. Who's some of the other ones?
Villela, Martinez.
Yeah, all them guys. That's what I'm saying. It'd be interesting to see if they're playing. And how Stan can fare with them, because they're more familiar with the whole Challenger tour. But at the end of the day, it's a tennis court, and Stan Wawrinka is a boss on the tennis court. So
what about Peter Terebko? Peter Terebko, Stan Wawrinka final. we got. If we cheer on Terebko, no matter what.
Oh yeah, we'll have to back him.
I wonder if he hasn't been on court by the looks of it. I think I've seen him sunning himself.
Or even someone we didn't even mention. Sorry, Attila Balazs.
Attila Balazs.
We could see an Attila Stan final or something.
Oh, that would be a mean final on clay. I'd like that a lot. Can Attila handle the power of Wawrinka though? That's the question. So yeah, we'll see how Stan gets on in his clay court challenges. But yeah, let's move quickly back to the US Open because I've heard that there has been like a leaked waiver that's just come out in sort of breaking news. Seen a few people posting this around about the sort of terms and conditions of people playing in the US Open, and there's a lot of people saying this is a very dodgy fine print in this waiver, that they don't really want to take any culpability for anybody's well-being pretty much within the tournament. What do you think of that?
Well, basically, what was it? In other words, if you die at the tournament, you're not liable.
What?
Like in the most brutal way. That's basically what they're saying. I don't know. My opinion on it is this. Basically, in America, you find that this is just the norm. I don't think it's like a tennis thing or anything. Like America, in general, there's waivers for everything. They always have these like very abrupt waivers. At the end of the day, I'm not actually that against it. Like the players are going there at their own risk. They're not stupid. They know what's going on. Maybe the tournament should. It's a bit abrupt, isn't it? The way it's been put, but I think you've got to do that at the end of the day. And these players, they know what risk they're getting into. Whether they're willing to do it or not, it's up to them. No one's being forced to go to these tournaments.
No.
And if they make the decision to go, sign the waiver and just hope for the best. At the end of the day, the chances of, well, I know it's terrible, touch wood, the chances of them ever getting like seriously sick is very minute. At the end of the day, they're athletes to the top of the game.
Yeah,
they should be getting over coronavirus in a few days. But there's always the exception. There could be underlying health issues they're unfamiliar with, and there's always complications there. So it's a risk, but I think just sign it, get on with it, and that's the way it is. That's as much as I can say on that. These
waivers, very much like a US sort of thing, though, isn't it? I remember listening to another podcast, and there was the British UFC fighter, Michael Bisping, was saying before every one of his fights, he has to sign a waiver that's saying if he dies in the ring, then they're not culpable. He's like accepted the responsibility that he could die when he goes in for this fight. And that takes all responsibility. It's to do with America, and like they've got a massive sue culture out there, isn't it? They sue you for anything. Yeah. Well, don't forget there was that one case of that woman who was traveling in the mobile camper van, wasn't it? And then she put it on. Was it like cruise control?
All right.
And then just went into the back of the camper van to make a cup of tea, and the whole thing ploughed off the road and went into a ditch. And then she sued the company for saying it was like autopilot like type thing, when it didn't say does not drive itself. So she won in the court. So now all of them from now on have to say this means it doesn't drive itself. Like, because this one lady was so stupid that she thought it drove itself.
Well, it's happening soon, mate. Elon Musk's working on something as we speak. So.
Yeah, that's going to be the norm soon, mate. With all of these robotics in the modern age, but we've obviously got something which is from not the prehistoric, but Roger Federer celebrating another birthday.
Hey,
39 years old. Go on, Roger. He's still at the top of the game. He's loving it.
Can he win a slam? Can he still win a slam?
Of course he can win a slam.
Does he have one left in him, or is it more than one?
Do you seriously doubt him?
I'm not sure. I'd love him to. I think I'm hoping he's got one more left in him, like a Wimbledon or something.
Come on. Did you see the way he destroyed those Italian girls on that rooftop? He can definitely still win a slam.
That's for the Perillo pasta, mate.
Yeah, mate. He's full of Perillo pasta, mate. He's just got it. He's like oozing out of him. Yeah, mate. Well,
no, it's amazing, man. 39 years old, still where he is. He's always there, isn't he? Always there. Legend of the sport. And it's remarkable, man. I love him. And everyone does. He's just like the god, isn't he?
He's just like the face of the sport. And I think everybody on the tour has a lot to thank him for. And we have a lot to thank him for because we've had so many amazing matches over the years, so many great rivalries, and just hours and hours of beautiful tennis he has given us. So thank you, Roger Federer. Happy birthday to you.
And wait, I'm getting someone.
Oh yeah, don't forget, someone with the
You've
same
almost
birthday.
Done exactly what you said you didn't want to do.
Nearly did a coffee break.
Yeah, well, go on then.
Yeah, well, don't forget the next generation. He's coming up. You better remember the name. It's Felix Auger Aliassime. It's his birthday as well. He's 20 years old. He's out. He's not longer a teenager. So happy birthday to him as well.
Yeah. Quality guy, man.
Yeah, very great player.
It's weird, isn't it? They've both got birthdays on the same day.
I bet he was thinking this is a sign when he was like coming up through the race.
Yeah, growing up, like it must be crazy always having the same being a tennis player and your birthday's on the same day as Roger Federer. He must be always thinking, oh, you know what? I've got my life set for me. I know I'm going to do well in life. I'm going to be winning Grand Slams.
No one's ever going to remember my birthday. So I'm on the same day as Roger Federer. It's only when Federer retires.
Anyway, let's get on to our big three facts this week. I've actually done a special theme of Roger's 39th birthday. So let's have this episode's big three facts.
Big three facts.
Roger Federer, as we know, has just turned 39. But 39 is a very special number for him because Federer has beaten he's got combined wins over Nadal, Djokovic 39 times.
Wow.
So he has beaten Djokovic and Nadal a combined 39 times.
Wow.
And it's his 39th birthday. So that is my big three facts.
Facts of the episode. Great. I like that one. That's very interesting, though. How many times has he lost to them? That's what I want to know. I just think it's really interesting. 39 times. And something quite interesting about those 39 times. He's beaten Novak Djokovic 23 times, and he's beaten Rafael Nadal 16 times.
I feel like a lot of these wins have come on earlier on, hasn't they? Like
most probably
since the 2010s onwards. It's very minimal for sure. The last 10 years,
but he's lost to Djokovic 27 times, and he's lost to Nadal 24 times. So he's got a negative win record against both of them. He's got 40% win record against Nadal and 46% against Djokovic. So.
Mate, I'll take it. I don't know about you, but I'll take that right now.
Yeah, I'll take that and 20 Grand Slams, to be fair, if I'm going to take some. Considering his age, I think he's doing all right.
So that means one thing. By this time next year, he needs to have beaten either of them one more time. Because then he'll be 40 years old and he'll have 40 wins against them.
Who knows?
And then we'll include that on our big three facts this time next year.
Maybe it'll be the US Open next year.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Anyway, I think we'll leave it there for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you like, comment and subscribe. Anything left to say, Ben?
No. Just keep your eye out for all the tennis that's coming this week. And we'll catch up with you later in the week.
Oh, yeah, one thing we should have said. Hope you like our new logo as well. We've got a new logo now.
I forgot about that. Look at the new logo. If you're loving the new logo, let us know what you think of it in the comments below.
Thanks for listening. Peace.